Normally, I don't share my dreams. I've had a few dreams where what I saw in the dream came to pass in the different ways, and it was mind blowing. um, However, I had a dream about Beyonce, and I am not trying to share this for clout or whatever. However, it has been weighing on my mind heavy to share. I had the dream back on February the 7th, so a few weeks ago. Um, and it was heavy. However, so here's the dream. Um, I, along with my husband and my mother-in-law, we went to a ticket booth. We were going to attend the Beyonce concert. Now, me personally, I have no desire to see Beyonce in concert. Not knocking her, but it's whatever. Um, However, in the dream, we are at the ticket booth and we are preparing to get tickets to go see her. So the lady asks, the lady behind the ticket booth asks me, "Am I married?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And then she looks at my husband and she's like, "Well, I mean, because we have his ticket already." So I'm like, oh, "Okay, whatever." So I'm like, "Well, then you can just give me a single ticket." And she says, "Okay." So she tells us that we would have to sit separately. So I said, "Well, that wasn't ideal, but okay." We go into the concert hall, and when we get into the concert hall, Beyonce is still rehearsing. She's on stage, but she's rehearsing, and she's up there. She's singing. The whole concert hall is pitch black, and the only thing that you can see is up on the stage. She had some really deep red stage lights going, like the performance lights, they're flickering and flashing all over the place. Um, and I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is kind of weird because they don't normally let you come into the concert hall while the artist is still rehearsing. So, okay. Um, so I look up and I see this lady is on stage. I don't know who the lady was. I don't know what she was supposed to be doing, but she was standing there on stage and Beyonce is singing and she's doing her runs. Y'all know how Beyonce do. And she turns and looks at the woman and she calls out her dancers, her backup singers, and all of them to come out on stage. When she does this, then she has them to grab the lady. They bring the lady to the center of the stage, and she tells them to put the pentagram on her forehead. And I'm like, hmm. So now at this point, they do as she says. They put the pentagram on the lady's forehead, and now Beyonce is like mauling at this lady. I mean, she's straight viciously attacking her. In the midst of this happening, I can see some really like dark figures flying around over the whole gig. Okay, like they're doing what they're doing, and I can see these dark figures flying overhead them. Um, and then she turns around and she instructs the people that she called out on stage, her backup singers and her dancers, to do the same to the lady. So now they're attacking the lady. I mean, they're just going in on her. And I began to feel really heavy chested. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. I felt lightheaded. And I was just like, whoa, like this is a lot. So I said, okay, I'm like, well, maybe I just need to go out and clear my mind. Maybe I need a minute. So I leave out of the concert hall and I am approached by these two security guards. And they're like, come on, you need to go back in the concert hall. And I'm like, no, I need a minute. Like, let me go to the bathroom. Let me relax. And they're like, no, come on, Tamika, you gotta go. And I'm like, who is Tamika? My name is not Tamika. I said, I need to go to the bathroom. Y'all need to let me through. Can you please move? And they're like, no, 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 no. And finally, they like, okay, go ahead and go, but hurry up. So I'm like, whatever. I get to the bathroom and I see these four guys. They are dressed in all black, standing right in front of the entrance of the bathroom. They are facing each other, but they're not talking. So they look like they're standing casually, but they're not having a conversation with each other. Okay. And I'm like, okay, so y'all not gonna move, so I'm gonna just go through you. So I walk past them and I go into the bathroom. And when I turn around and I get ready to close the bathroom door, I notice that when I move the door to close it, their heads will turn and they'll just stare at me. So I'm like, okay, never mind. So I leave the bathroom and I go back to the concert hall. And when I get to the concert hall, then I am approached once more by one of the security guards. He was the older one. And he looks at me and he just starts talking. And I'm like, okay. And then he looks at me and he says, normally we don't allow anyone to leave the concert hall. And I said, okay. And so I go back inside. And when I go in there, Beyonce is still up there on the stage. She's still rehearsing, still singing her butt off. And I can still see the black figures just flying around over her head, just all over her. And while she's singing, I see there's a few more people in there because the only people that were in there were me, my husband, my mother-in-law, and like a few other people. You could literally like count how many people are in there. About throughout the whole concert hall, maybe like 20 of us were in there, and everyone is standing up and they're just like cheering her on. It sounds almost like a church. Like they're like, yes, yes, yes. And she's just singing and she's doing her runs and she's singing her butt off. And I see these black figures still flying around over her head. And as soon as I have a seat, that feeling comes right back over me. And I'm just like, there is a strong demonic presence in here. And then I woke up. Now, um, I don't know. But that dream felt very real. And it was really, well, it was creepy. But I mean, at the end of the day, okay, dreams come for a reason, especially those that you can remember. And like I said, I had this dream back on February the 7th. So for me to still be able to sit here and explain in detail what happened, you have to understand that that was really like a really vivid dream. Okay. Um, my job was to come on here and to share what I saw in my dream, share the dream, and leave it at that. So, those who have ears, they will hear and understand what's being said. And if you choose not to, then I am going to just pray in general for all who do decide to go to her concert. Um, like I said, I used to be a Beyonce fan, but not anymore. Um, so, I mean, her having a concert doesn't really affect me in any kind of way. But for those who are huge fans and who does want to go to the concert, I will just be keeping anyone who attends in prayer because I mean, you never know. Stay blessed.